So we got the book review of Archeologist Warlord, a dungeon core epic. When Martin Fuller finally got to visit the pyramids in Egypt, the would-be archaeologist did not just achieve his dream, he also unknowingly fulfilled an age-old prophecy. Because there was a reason why the young man had been hearing voices since he was a kid, and why he had been fascinated by the majestic tombs made of limestone. By setting foot inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu, he will learn the truth that will send him all the way across the galaxy. Transported to a planet on the verge of a catastrophic invasion, Martin will be tasked with protecting this foreign world from the powerful beings about to land and harvest the souls of its unsuspecting inhabitants. To help him in this mission, Martin will be granted command over a production facility that can build basic defense mechanisms. However, that stronghold is too ancient and decrepit, and the units it can manufacture are too lousy and clumsy, especially in comparison to the invaders' power, which, as Martin could witness from the vision he experienced when his mind was captured, seemed godlike and completely unstoppable. Still, if Martin wants to ever go back home, or even survive the war to come, he will need to search for a way to fight back. And that will go through finding how to upgrade his units and develop new weapons as well as combat strategies. He has to hurry, because if dealing with that ominous threat wasn't bad enough, he will have to compose with the nations comprising the strange world, and which see his arrival as a danger to be stopped. Will Martin be able to have them hear reason, set aside quarrels, and cooperate before they're all annihilated? Archeologist Warlord Initializing is a dungeon core-like work of fiction belonging to the lit RPG genre and the first book in a series to come. So, yeah, it's an interesting kind of twist. So, main character, he's, run-of-the-mill, person in modern U.S. times, and but he can hear voices, and he's solved some crimes over the years by giving tips to the police that he's obtained from the voices that he's heard. He then gets sucked. His body dies, like in the first couple pages, and his soul is sucked to this other world where the builders have created this system to harness soul magic, which they learn from these invaders. So apparently these invaders come across every however many thousands of years, and then they harvest all the souls, or not all of them, but the majority of the souls on the planet, and then leave. And the cycle repeats. And, they leave enough to repopulate, and then wait for the population to expand, and then they come in and grab them again. So it's a harvesting system. And yeah, so it's an interesting twist. So now this guy is basically a dungeon core in the lit RPG kind of tradition, but there's no points and there's no stats and there's no leveling or anything like that. It's just that kind of mechanism is the consistent piece where he has certain resources and he can apply them to various constructs, and then he has to use that to deal with everything. So it's not a dungeon in the sense that his influence is not limited to one little area. You can expand and deal with the world at large. So yeah, it's core-ish dungeon. No, lit RPG, not really. But it's an interesting take on the whole thing. So I like that part about it. And what I was not such a fan of is that so he encounters these nations or surrounding the area where he was dropped, basically, and basically, so there's Arabs having an emirates, and then there's the Chinese, the Indians, and the Japanese is basically what he's encountered, and they're all kind of quasi, high medieval level of society and technology. What I thought was a missed opportunity here was the sort of copying that was done. So, the Chinese are the Chinese, and the Japanese are the Japanese, and then the Arabs are the Arabs. So it's it seems like you could have done more with creating a new societies, and rather than just taking this thing over here and from historical point of view and putting them here, changing names, and going about your business. So to me, that felt like a waste to create a more a richer world that was more inventive, rather than just kind of copy and paste with the names changed. Overall, though, I thought it was decent. I'd say like 3.5 out of 5 maybe. and I am reading book 2 right now. So it was enjoyable enough to keep reading.